Hey girl.
Howdy, 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 my beautiful Aquarius. How are you doing, darling? My name is SimplyVelca, and today I'm going to be getting into a weekly tarot horoscope reading, Aquarius, for November 2021. So if you find any tarot cards that resonate with you in this weekly tarot reading today, Aquarius, be sure to let me know in the comments below which cards resonate and how, because that's how I keep up with y'all, is through the comments, Aquarius, as well. So if you do enjoy my vibe for today, Aquarius, I really would appreciate it if you were to give this video a like and subscribing, because it does help me out a lot, and I always appreciate it when you do. Remember, it doesn't matter what gender you identify as, whether it's he, she, they, them, anything inside or outside of that spectrum, Aquarius. If this reading is going to resonate with you, I promise you it's going to resonate. Keep in mind, I am just an individual reading some tarot cards to you. You know your situation better than I possibly could, so take the tarot cards that resonate and leave what doesn't, because I'm not going to be offended by it whatsoever. I believe tarot readings are just here to give you some food for thought for today, a perspective to consider, but never making choices in your life, Aquarius. So let's just jump into your weekly tarot horoscope reading now, Aquarius. Let's see what's going on with y'all this week. First and foremost, honey, you already know, Aquarius, we had to do a little bit of a vibe check, see what's going on with you guys energetically this week, see where the direction of the energy is, and just see what the main message from your spiritual forces need to bring forward this week, Aquarius. We have the Hawk Spirit stepping forward to you guys, number 32, equaling to 5 in numerology, Aquarius. This card says, let spirit be your guide, darling. So right off the bat, Aquarius, what I want to tell you, it's almost as if for those that are spiritually inclined, that there is some type of message trying to be brought to the forefront for you, Aquarius, for you to be paying attention to. It's almost as if this message is going to be, it's almost going to be like you can't mistake this energy, almost like you can't confuse this. Once this energy makes its presence known, you're going to be like, oh, all right, this is my time. This is the moment I need to do X, Y, and Z, whatever that is for you, Aquarius. I'm not going to sit here and project my thoughts on this because, you know, especially when it comes to spirit and all of that, right? And how Aquarians have all different lives, right? It's just going to be very specific to you. So it's unfair for me to try to have like this God complex as if I know what your guides are going to be trying to present to you. But it's going to be unmistakable energy or an unmistakable message on like what you feel guided to do, Aquarius. I do feel this, like I keep on being shown the Tower card, Aquarius, coming in here. We're gonna have this Page of Cups here, we'll get into this in a moment, but I keep on being shown the Tower card, Aquarius. So it's almost as if like whatever this Hawk Spirit is coming in with that message, right, of letting you know someone in your spiritual family and your spiritual forces are trying to get a message across. You know, maybe it's for some of you guys, it's going to be a deity or a spirit guide or an ancestor that you haven't worked with in a while, making their presence known to you again. But whatever the case is, it's like they're going to be coming in through like a tower moment in your life. It's like, so like let me just give a couple of analogies. So for some of you guys, if this is in terms of some type of social dynamic, you're going to be receiving something this week that is just like, it's going to like, whether it'll be a good or bad or what have you, whatever, however you perceive it, Aquarius, you're going to be like, all right, this is what they're trying to show me here. And it's going to just completely alter the dynamic and how you either approach this situation or what that social situation means to you personally, right? I mean, especially it might be some type of dream coming in for many of you Aquariuses. In terms of other situations, it could be another analogy of where it's just like some type of opportunity presenting itself to you that shows to you, Aquarius, being like, oh, this is what I need to be leaning into, right? So let me just give like an analogy, like just for simplicity's sake, tarot, for example. I'm doing tarot reading, you know, and this is what I do, darling, right? I have over 1,000 videos on this channel. And then I get an email, and an email happens where it's just like asking for my service in some type of other way, right? I don't know. And then it's through that email that's just like, oh, this is what my calling needs to be right now. I need to put tarot to the side and focus in on what I'm being reached out for. If that makes sense, Aquarius. So it's just like drastic shift altering in like where your priorities will be and like where you feel as if you're feeling called to do, and like what it is you feel as if your life purpose is for, right? So take that as you will, Aquarius. It's obviously hard for me to give analogies that's going to fit for each Aquarian, because just with the complexities that Aquarians are, but it's just going to be always like the situation is going to be very unique to each of you. So all I really want to say is some type of dynamic in your life is going to just drastically shift. Like you're gonna have like a complete 180 in where your priorities are at, or what it is that you do. All right, so we're gonna just leave that there, darling, because I can be as long-winded with this as I want. So Page of Cups stepping forward to you, Aquarius. So Page of Cups here, by definition, the Page of Cups represents new energies coming into your life, or as well, Aquarius, Page of Cups represents the deepening of something current. And, I always like to see the Cups card is not just like with people, but Cups can represent opportunities as well. And so that's why I felt, and it makes more sense now, like I obviously saw the card Aquarius, but like when I was needing to get the message out with that tower moment that I was being shown, I wasn't really processing this card or anything about it. I literally did just like put a pin on it as if it didn't exist, Aquarius. And so I do feel as if that tower moment comes in, many people are afraid of the tower card because of like it feeling like it's being the representation of the rug being swept from under you. But in this moment, it's like you have a internal tower moment with, like, again, just with how you see a situation, how you see a person. You just see your life purpose just greatly be altered through something new coming into the fray, some type of new energy coming into the forefront for you, whether that new energy comes in the shape of a person, or, and when I say that person, it doesn't mean like that person themselves, but it's like what that person could be, what that person represents, and what that person comes forward with, right? That's why I gave the analogy. Someone sending me an email asking for a different type of service that I don't normally do or what have you, and then it's just like, oh wait, this is my life purpose, this is what I need to be doing, so it's like it could be what that person represents and is offering to you, or it could even just be because it's like we can't neglect the other portion of the Page of Cups of where it's the deepening of something current, right? So maybe for some of you Aquarius, someone's going to be showing to you, maybe it's just like a sign of more commitment, and be like, maybe you didn't see this energy in that way, or maybe you probably had like a hint of it, Aquarius, where you're just like, this is a possibility, but then it's through their actions or through some type of events actions that really affirm something to you, and then allows for you to either open up to the energy more or what have you, right? Something changes. We have here the Justice card coming in here, Aquarius, Libra energy. Y'all already know, like, it has no significance, and I'm not going to say it could be Libra or anything like that. I just like to point it out because I'm a self-centered individual. And when I see the Libra energy, because I'm a Libra Scorpio cusp, I'm going to be like, that's Libra, honey. So with this Justice card, it is this sense of... it's almost as if what comes forward to you, Aquarius, it's going to be what it's like. Let me pull one more before I start projecting my thoughts. Hermit card as well. So yeah, with this new energy that comes in here, this sparks this new inspiration for you, Aquarius, with like how you see yourself. It's also going to be bringing more of a sense of, how would we say, it's just something is going to be in further alignment with you, if that makes sense. It's going to be, Aquarius's energy is always so complex for me to unpack, honey, in the best way. So don't ever take that as an insulting way. But it's almost as if like something coming to light, even perhaps maybe that's what that tower moment is about, almost allows for you to have some type of closure with the situation, and for you to truly just let go of something from the past. Or maybe for even some of you guys, it's not a situation of letting go of something, but it's almost like this is like the final piece of a puzzle that you've been needing, or you weren't even aware that you've been needing, and you're just like, oh, now everything else makes so much sense as to why your life led you to where it is that you are now. Does that make sense? So I don't even, I can't, I was gonna just bring up an analogy, but it just like completely blanked for me, because it's just like, again, like I feel like it's in one of two ways, where it's just like, just how profound it's going to be for you. That's kind of hard for me to conceptualize it, Aquarius, or yeah, I think that's what it is. The more I try to connect to it, the more I just like, yep, some of you Aquarius probably will just notice my eyes just randomly just like glaze over for a moment. And I just, it's like, is there anything going on in there? It's just like, yeah, it just is like complete blank when I try to tap into it. So I'm not going to push it, because I feel like if I try to push it, it's not like, I'll just be projecting at that point. Full transparency, Aquarius. Again, like I'm very much so not trying to present myself as some type of prophet or know-all or oracle that sees all, right? Especially with something like this, I feel like it's so spiritually inclined that, at least for my own personal gnosis, that it's really impossible for me to speak for spirit. It's unfair for me to speaks because I feel as if a lot of this is going to give you a sense of like life purpose, or have a better clarity on like why things were laid out in the way that they were for you. And it's going to feel, even if it's just all about physical pursuits and like physical human connections, or just financial and what have you, it's going to feel very spiritual to you, if that makes sense, Aquarius. Like it's going to have so much more meaning than just like what it reflects in your bank account, or something that could come off as vapid as being like, oh, some type of relationship, whether it's social, whether it's platonic or romantic, right? Let's continue on. Eight of Wands coming forward for you, Aquarius. So it's almost as if some of you guys, it was like this resistance, right? I do get some type of resistance energy. I don't know if this was you or the outside energy here, Aquarius, where it's like resistance to this change, resistance to movement, but it's like the resistance is no longer going to be there. It's like you kept on pushing this to the side, be like, maybe that's not my calling, or what have you. And then I feel as if things are now starting to line up in such a way for you, Aquarius, where it's like full speed ahead. It's just like, you know what, now the gloves are off, honey, and you're ready to take action, you're ready to move, right? Whether it be like in your actual environment, or whether this is just like movement in terms of a relationship, being like, all right, well, I was like functioning from this connection from a more reserved place. Now that this was revealed to me, now let's chariot energy full speed ahead with something, right? Definitely this resistance is being lifted in this way. So this lets me know, Aquarius, this is not just going to be something like out of the blue, being like, how would we say, this isn't like a situation where you never saw yourself doing this, because I do feel as if this is like, it sparked in your mind on some level, but whatever that resistance there, it's being removed. Yeah. Knight of Swords coming in here, yeah, full speed ahead. The Knight of Swords, I always say, not enough tarot readers get into what the Knight of Swords actually represents, right? The Knight of Swords by definition talks about a lot of events coming at you pretty quickly, so it's very much so like a domino effect. So that message is very relevant for you guys, obviously, Aquarius. But the Knight of Swords also is an energy where it's like, it's the fastest moving knight in terms of progression down their path, right? Knight of Wands, just because I see it here, like compared to the Knight of Wands, where it's like those short bursts of movement in the sense of in the heat of passion, right? I like to compare the Knight of Wands as like that energy where it's just like you get that random motivation at 2 o'clock in the morning to just like do everything in the world, adopt a new workout routine and all that. But with the Knight of Swords, it's the quickest moving knight depending on their mindset. So if the Knight of Swords is of good mind, because Swords is of dealing with the psyche, the Knight of Swords could be an energy where it's just like, if they're feeling really good, they will really make leaps and bounds in terms of their progression. They will take 10 steps down their path each day, whereas in like a Knight of Wands could take like 2 steps, for example. And the Knight of Pentacles is very just that slow, consistent tortoise energy. But with the Knight of Swords, it's like, your mental you could also go 10 steps back if your psyche isn't and of the right mind, right? That sounds so condescending or just like weird. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but if you aren't feeling good, Aquarius, it's very easy for you to sink into like perhaps those depressions and just like take 10 steps back, and you're just like, becoming more closed off, putting up your guards, walls and all that, and keeping into your recluse hole. But here's the thing, because of that tower moment, again, that I was seeing, that I feel as if spirit is bringing forward to you, Aquarius, it's giving me very much so this sense of where that's like what that puzzle piece that I was talking about, that places that then finally unlocks everything to really allow yourself, Aquarius, to just go full speed ahead. As I was saying, I use the Chariot card, and it's like, I enjoy how this is kind of correlating. Beautiful, Aquarius. So let's get into a little bit more of girl. Let's get into, I'm going to switch decks now. I'm going to take that as a sign to switch. Let's just use this gold one, darling Aquarius. Let's use this gold one since I already whipped it out. Let's see what, I feel as if I need to pull a couple more cards of what you guys need to be looking out for. Let's ground this message a little bit. King of Cups coming in here, so kind of self-explanatory, Aquarius, where the King of Cups, you could be careful about being too reserved with your emotions. I feel like that might be your biggest struggle. As I was saying, like with that Knight of Swords dealing with the psyche, make sure you don't it's almost as if you, on some level, you might not want to admit or allow whatever that tower moment is, right? Being like, oh, well, this person's showing that they are capable of being more serious and committed. You might have this sense of just like being more reserved and reclused again, and be like, I don't want to show my hands, you don't want to show all your cards yet. You don't want to show that vulnerability. So watch out for that, right? Because I feel like you could slow that progression down. King of Swords, darling. All right, yeah. Aquarius, this all says it here. And I know it's easy for me to project this, Aquarius, just because I'm, my whole brand is just vulnerability and just laying it all out there, right? Doesn't mean it's always the best course of action, but with both the King of Cups and the King of Swords, both which encompass the psyche, your emotions, and just your thought process. Ooh, darling, I love it when it's like this. I love it when it all aligns so beautifully, Aquarius. This is a nice, refreshing. Now, like I was struggling connecting with the energy. It all makes sense now, darling. Definitely just be aware about being too reserved. Also, the King of Cups and King of Swords do represent that message of just like rational thinking. Don't do things just out of the heat of the moment, right? Make sure that your psyche is just of proper mind when you make decisions and you go forward with things. But, there is this message of where it's just like, don't be so protective of your psyche, in the sense that how do we bring this message in, because that sounds weird. Don't be so protective of your psyche, in the sense being like, you don't want to show that vulnerability because you're afraid of someone taking advantage of that king energy that you are, right? Genders don't matter, right? So it's like you're afraid of being taken advantage of or what have you, so you're not showing your hand. And I feel like that's a mistake on some level if you choose to just continue this reservedness. But that's all I'm going to say on that, darling. For those Aquariuses, it's going to hit the message that it needs to hit. So thank you so much for allowing me to do this tarot reading for you today, Aquarius. Hopefully you found some cards that do resonate with you. If you want to book a private to personal reading with me, my website's always linked down below, SimplyVelca.com, darling. Next to my social medias, TikTok and Instagram, also just being SimplyVelca. But until next time, my beautiful Aquariuses, I love you so much, darlings. Bye.